Hi, welcome. I'm Jessie Walters from Charles Rutenberg. I'm here today to give you guys a market update and show you guys some listings that I have. I have been obviously doing this for about almost 17 years. Oh gosh, it sounds so old. And buying and selling and helping people find dream homes and investment properties and commercial properties and land to build their dream houses on. Just a bunch of basically real estate transactions and helping people. If anybody needs, you're buying or selling, if you need anything, just obviously give me a call or shoot me an email. I'd be glad to help you. I have two new listings right now. One is on Club Drive. I'm not sure which one's going to come up first, but we have one on Club Drive, which is 13007 Club Drive, Hudson. That home was reduced $5,000. And that's the front picture there. It's very clean, very nice. It's all been redone inside. It sits right on the golf course. This is the kitchen, which has a huge island in the middle with the granite, just beautiful. And it's matching in the back part too, which is kind of hard to see in this picture. But you have all upgraded ceramic tile. You have the stainless steel appliances. And then this room is the third bedroom or second living room, depending on how you're going to utilize that space. My client who lives in this home made this into a second living room because it's just, at the time, it was just her and her sister, so they didn't need the third bedroom. So there's another angle on it. It's a good sized room for a third bedroom. It has a barn door on the outside of it, so you could use it however you'd like. And then this is the main living room area. When you walk in, there's the front door and then the closet and then a hallway that leads to another bathroom and a bedroom, and then we go to the other side, which has that kitchen on it. This is the spare bedroom, and as you can see, it's very nice. Actually, I think that's a master bedroom. There's the master bedroom, as you can see, is very nice. But the whole house has the same flooring throughout, so it's definitely a beautiful, very clean, paint's perfect. All the bathrooms have been ripped out and redone, so you've got brand new vanities, toilets, just like a new home inside. Basically each room. This is a spare bedroom, second bedroom, and you can see just again the same flooring. Windows look great, newer windows, new AC, new roof, and this bathroom's been redone too. That's the master bathroom. Just done beautifully too. And I think the pictures don't even give it justice. And of course you got the outside garage, laundry area, which kind of always look about the same. So that's the back view picture here, and that is the golf course. There is privacy though, because there's a tree, kind of like trees in front of where you can kind of see the golf course to the sides. They have it like that because they don't want the to be, I guess, if you love golf, you could trim that out and actually watch the golfers go through. But they have it more of like a privacy setting and stuff like that. It has a side entry front door too, which is real nice. So you're not straight in off the front of the house. You go to the side. And most of these houses on this whole block on Club Drive have the side entrance. And one just sold about 4 or 5 houses away. A little bit less, but it wasn't redone with all these beautiful upgrades. This one has the alarm system that stays too, and that's right in the master where you can see the central alarm system it has. You can see outside each room, and it also does have a sitting area right behind the living room area. And this isn't in addition. This is in addition to the back porch. So this is another sitting area. And you got the front entry. As you can see, it's all very well taken care of. And like I said, it's on the golf course. And that is in Beacon Woods. And there's a Beacon Woods golf course, which is a hidden gem because it's very reasonable, the actual golf itself. So if you're a golfer, and you can see their umbrella there. So that's that little room in the middle. But if you're a golfer, you'll love it because the fees there, the green fees are very reasonable. So a lot of people love it. And you also have tennis courts. Pool, clubhouse area. Has a lot of pluses with this house and a great location. You're about 5 minutes from the Bayonet Point Hospital. There's Winn-Dixie one way, about 5 minutes, and then Publix the other way, again about 5 minutes from Publix too. So it's centrally located off of 5A Road in Pasco County near US 19 or 52, depending on which way you'd like to take to get into that area. You're close to the Suncoast if you're going back and forth to Tampa. That house, like we said, was $319. So it's a good deal for a brand new upgraded or brand newly upgraded. So because of course it's not a new house, but it is inside when you get in, it is like a new house. So I have another listing at 12507 Stagecoach. My memory. This one, did I get it right? Stagecoach Lane. Yeah. Okay, 12507 Stage. Okay, this one is $359. This is a 4-bedroom. As you can see, the front looks nice. Trees trimmed up. This is the kitchen. Again, we got brand new kitchen, granite. We got the stainless steel appliances. And this is a very, very nice backsplashes and very, very nice kitchen. They got the shaker cabinets. Again, these houses are similar as far as their upgrades, but this one is bigger. This one has a laminate floor instead of the tile, the laminate floor throughout the house, and that is downstairs and it's also upstairs. So that's going to flow through the whole house. This house has been all redone as well. The bathrooms are redone, the living room. You can see the extra accents on the wall. You know, just everything has a larger crown molding, which you can't really see because of all the light on the picture, but it does have a large crown molding around, and it's a lot of like a light gray and whites around that house. Very, very bright. Just needs your furniture and some decorations. It's a very pretty house. That's the rock wall, which they painted white, which looks real nice when you come in, and the fireplace matches it perfect as well. So it's kind of like you walk into that brick wall and you look out and then you'll see the fireplace. That's the master bedroom, and you'll step in there. It's one level. The shower it sprays one way, and then it's cool because you can actually take a shower without getting sprayed in the face at first. So you can put your arm around the corner and turn the shower on. So it's pretty good. And this is the fireplace I was saying that matches that front entryway. It's very pretty inside with the fireplace. That's one living room. So you have 2 living rooms, and it's a split plan. So you've got the master on one side, and then you have other bedrooms on the other side. So if you have a load of kids, you can keep them all on one side and have your privacy on the other side of the house. So it's pretty nice. So you can see the bathroom down that hallway. There's another bedroom there. And then when you go up that staircase, which I took a picture of the staircase because I just thought, what a good job that they did on that staircase. Just looks so awesome and amazing, because some people just kill those staircases with carpet and stuff, especially in this model. Big closet upstairs, huge. So that's your upstairs bedroom closet. So it's very big. And then this is the second bathroom. And as you can see, it has all the most modern looking for the bathrooms. And then also you've got the colors, a lot of whites and grays throughout. Again, this is the second living room. And you can see, I think on that one you can see more of how large the baseboard is and stuff. So it's like the upgraded base and stuff. And the new fans, they really put brand new everything in this home. So it's basically like a new one. And you got your this other bathroom. This is the downstairs bathroom. And this this is the same bathroom, sorry. This is the downstairs bathroom, which is the same with the gray tones. And then there's another bathroom in this house. Upstairs, it looks pretty nice too. There it is, that's the other one. You could kind of see the tiles and stuff. So I like to get that up close look so you can kind of see the patterns and how modern they are. And then you've kind of got the, this is the third bedroom. They're all the same exact flooring, so I'm like trying to think which one's which, but they're all huge rooms. So if you want to put a couple kids in each room, you could do that. They're big rooms. And that's what's cool about like the older homes is that you have and that's that huge closet. You have a home with big rooms. Some of the newer modern homes for sale have smaller rooms. And this is the other bathroom. This is where I was showing that close-up of the color of the tile. As you can see, it's real nice. It's kind of got the rustic look up there. So that's your third bathroom. And again, it's all brand new. So it's real nice as far as the designs and stuff. And I wish my garage looked like this one. There's nothing in it, and it's so clean and freshly painted. Unfortunately, my garage does not look like this. I'm like, where's I got a 1973 Ford Mustang in there with cobwebs on it, so it's not looking like this, but that's a nice garage. And out here, freshly painted flooring, our floor, so like a non-slip, and you got all these big sliding glass doors, and then you got this window here for serving guests, food if you guys are sitting on the back porch, or you can just really take advantage of all those windows and stuff for serving and for in and out. That's the master bedroom window, and then the living room window, then the kitchen window. The roof is new, and that air condition there is new as well. So you don't really have a lot of maintenance issues as far as this home. Everything's been redone on it. So I think whoever purchases this home will be able to really just enjoy it. The only thing, the roof's new, the AC's new, the flooring's new, the kitchen's new, the bathrooms are new, both bathrooms are new, flooring's new, wall paint's new, baseboard's new. I guess the only thing that you'd have to do is maybe the windows. That's the only thing I think is the original is going to be like the actual windows in that house. But that, again, is in Beacon Woods. And as we were shown on those other pictures, that is close to the golf course as well. That is also close to the community center for if you don't, if you want to use a pool, but you don't want to have to take care of a pool, that one, you can actually obviously do that there, which is real nice and stuff. You can go to the community center, and you can go play tennis at the community center. So it has a lot of cool options there in Beacon Woods. And again, that house, again, is 5 minutes from, it's really located real close to the other one I had up there. So it's about 5 minutes from Bayonet Point Hospital. And then, of course, you got your, if you're trying to get on the Suncoast for work to go to Tampa, it's an easy commute. You can just hit State Road 52 and then head out to the Suncoast. So that's a nice way to get on the actual Suncoast and get to Tampa, so you can commute and actually live in a reasonable home. Like the median as far as the income and all that stuff. You can affordable 4-bedroom home. In a nice neighborhood that's deed restricted. Now, unfortunately, in both of those homes, you can't rent them out for 2 years. So if you're thinking of an investment property and you're like, well, these are pretty good price points for an investment property, for return, you're going to have to own that house for 2 years. So if you're an investor, you can A, let it sit for 2 years, or B, if you're a homeowner and you're not sure whether or not this is the home you want to stay in the rest of your life, you could always live there for 2 years and then possibly keep it as an asset, and then have your tenants pay the actual, with their rent, have them pay the actual mortgage payment in a couple years after you've done the HOA restriction of the 2 years prior to renting. What's good about that neighborhood is that they take good care of it, and they don't, without, not that tenants were going to make everything a mess, but they feel like the less tenants we have, the more homeowners we have, the more families we'll have. So, they're trying to basically make sure it doesn't turn into kind of a messy subdivision. So I think that's why they do the 2-year rule, because there are tenants in there, and there are, renters and stuff in there, and all the houses look real nice as far as most of the houses. If you don't take good care of your house in there, you are going to get a letter, because they do have the HOA situation in there. Also, the one house that I had, the condo, that is under contract. I know a lot of you guys like that condo because of the price. It was $159, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It was like 1,200 square foot, and the HOA fee is like $350 a month. But that one is under contract, and then I would say, hey, you guys send me a backup contract, but I already have a backup contract, and I already have a backup to the backup contract just in case that falls through. So that one should be done. Touch wood. Is there any wood anywhere? That one should be done by October 6th. That one should close. So that one is done. But if you're still buying or selling, it is a good time. I know a lot of people are scared right now. I'm going to talk about that in the next section. We'll talk about kind of like where we're at with the housing and stuff like that. But as far as these homes, they've both been reduced, and being reduced in regards to, they're motivated to sell. I think if we just sat on this market, we can we're going to sell. Obviously, we only need one buyer per each home, so they're definitely going to sell. But the days on the market have gone up, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next segment. What that means to you, what are days on the market? That's going to be basically how long it's taking to sell your house on the market, where it used to be a day to 3 days. Then it was 16 days. So now we're going into a month or two, which basically is normal. It was how it was prior to the COVID and everybody just going crazy with the houses and stuff. So if your house is sitting on the market, for a couple of weeks, don't worry about it. Unless you're highly motivated to sell, then of course you could reduce and reduce and reduce till you catch an eye of someone thinking, well, this is a great, deal. Otherwise, you're just going to sit patiently and just know that the days on the market have changed for sellers, where, like I said, it was 2 or 3 days, and now it's gone into a month. Even that condo, like I was saying, we did get multiple offers on it, which on the news it says there's no multiple offers anymore, which not everything on the news, believe it or not, is accurate or true. So we did get multiple offers on it. Again, it's $159,000. So I feel like, if you're going to retire, that's just, and so many people want that price range, and, it's just almost giving it away nowadays. But we did get multiple offers, and we did get cash offers, and we did take a finance offer instead of a cash offer, only because of the terms and stuff. So there's still ways to write your contracts, to get things approved and accepted. So if you were a buyer, in the last year and you're just frustrated with losing all the bids, now's a good time to come in, because you might have a multiple buyer situation, but you're going to have a lot less competition. If you have a realtor who's seasoned, could tell you how to get that, to get that offer, or if you call me, obviously, we'll get it done. But this is where we're at now. We're at the point where, it is how you write your offer still, but there are less on the table. So if you were a buyer and you're frustrated because you couldn't find anything, or you liked it and you kept getting disappointed, get back out there now. You're going to be able to find that, if you go home and sleep on it, that the house may still be available the next day. They are still selling. If you're looking for like under $300,000 price point, they are selling quickly still. When you get over $300,000, they start to slow down a little bit. When you get to $800,000, you're a little bit slower. And then there is a shortage in luxury homes. So if you're in a luxury home situation, you're going to get more lookers, believe it or not, than your $500,000, because the luxury homes right now are limited still inventory. So anyway, so we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and I'm going to tell you guys about the latest housing news. Sit tight. I know you guys are excited to find out what's going on in Florida in 2022 in September. So sit tight. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Jessie Walters with Charles Rutenberg. I got my sign here, my phone number on it. I was talking to you guys about market update. So we wanted to know, and in fact, like I always say, I can't go anywhere if I have my Charles Rutenberg shirt on and without people asking me, what do you think is going to happen? What's going on with the market? And it was 4 months ago, it was, do you think the market's going to crash? Do you think these prices are going to stop going up? Well, so in history, real estate always goes up. That's why people invest in real estate. So the average was between 4 to 6% a year. So I know Florida's a little different because everybody wants to retire here, or we were the number one retirement state for financial, like as far as we don't have a state tax, homestead protects you, just different things that Florida has. We're not number one anymore. I think we're number 15 as like the best places to retire. I don't know who writes that, the statistics, but apparently we've dropped down since this the market influx of, people coming and purchasing and basically are what's available and what's not available. So we've kind of gone down on the list as far as we're not number one anymore, because we used to have some pretty good prices on housing, and then people would say, well, I lived in New York, I'm going to sell my house for $1 million, I'm going to come down to Florida, I'm going to buy $1 million house here for $500,000, then I'm going to live on that money and retire and income. So it's a great plan. Now, not necessarily happening. I mean, we have higher insurance bills here now, and the reason I was talking to a friend, I had sold them a house, and I was talking to her, and she said, her insurance is getting canceled, and she wanted to know why her insurance is getting canceled, and why is that happening? Why is that happening in Florida? Well, a couple of things. So back in like 2008, 2009, and in 2000, a lot of people were putting in like insurance claims for settlement for sinkholes. They weren't really, the engineering and all that stuff was different than how that they were finding these sinkholes. People were just saying, oh yeah, it is a sinkhole, and then just basically, the whole house was being totaled, and then these people were getting checks. Some of them weren't even paying off the mortgages. Now they fixed that. So that was an issue back then. They fixed it. You have to pay off your mortgage. As far as if you don't they're making the people also fix the ground settlement problem if there is a real ground settlement problem. So a lot of those issues have gone away with that one. But then we had the roofing issue, which was a storm went through an area, and then roofers are on foot knocking on your door and saying, hey, it looks like you have some hail damage or you have this damage. And of course, if someone tells you you can get a free roof, of course you're going to go for that. So a lot of people just went for that. So it'd be like the whole, you'd be like 8 houses in a row, and then you're trying to get insurance, 20 houses in one area, and then there's 3 that didn't make a claim. And you know what I mean? So all these people are getting free roofs. And then you think about it, they're paying, between $1,000 to, depending on the square foot of the house, to $3,000, like average in like say your average median price range. And so think about how much a roof costs. So a roof costs like $12,000, and you're paying like $2,000 a year. And then you times that times 20 for just one little teeny area. So that kind of gives you an idea why the actual falsification of the claims for the roofing has now made this new thing for Florida. We're back to the old days where with the sinkhole stuff, where the insurance carriers are pulling out of Florida. You're having to get citizens, which will guarantee, and then the influx of citizens, just thousands of customers going to citizens, so much that people can't even pay their bills because the portal's so full of people getting switched and canceled. And so, it's sad in a way if you've never made a claim, but then in a way it's like Florida, everybody went off again, kind of off the handle a little bit, and so that's why we're having problems with our insurance. Putting it in layman's terms, it's our own fault. We overcharged the insurance companies, so now they're going to get out of here. So that's basically it. So we were talking about the housing, like what's going on with the housing, and so a lot of the times people watch the news, and they're driven by the news, and they're steered by the news. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that the news, I don't know if you guys have ever watched the news and felt really good after watching the news. You usually feel like, oh gosh, or oh no, or whatever. So right now the news is heavy on the real estate market, saying that the prices are dropping, saying that people are having remorse of the purchases that they made in 21, 22, during right after COVID, or the COVID influx of purchasing properties. So they're saying buyers' remorse and regret, that the buyer's average price overpaying is like $65,000 on the houses. Now, being a buyer's agent on some of them and a seller's agent, I know that you have to educate that buyer and say, this is what it's going to appraise for, and this is what it's worth if you want to overpay, and so I know a lot of them were like, at the time, we're like, yeah, I do want to overpay. I want this house. So they got the house, and now I think because interest rates are going up, if they had an ARM or an adjustable rate mortgage, their mortgage rates, their mortgage payments are going up too. So that's kind of the newness wears off. So when you go buy like a new car and you're so excited, and you pay like those first 3 payments, and you're just like, that's no problem. that's no problem. Fourth month, you're like, uh-oh. I'm like, I like this car, but shoot, that's higher than my other one. So it's kind of like the the mortgage industry. The newness wears off on your new home after, a year. You're paying it. You're like, oh gosh, I should have just waited. Now that everything's slow, I'm watching the news, and the news says everything's going to drop, and I paid too much, and this and that. So instead of thinking like that, a lot of people, when the market actually crashed, I just said to them, hold on to your houses, because in real estate, the history of real estate is it always goes back up. It hardly drops, but when it drops, there's nowhere to go but up. So if your prices are, they call it leveling out in your neighborhood, and basically what that leveling out is for me is not my buyers, my sellers, they will overprice their house. So like for instance, this house, everybody's house sells for $300. I think mine's worth $350 because I have all these upgrades. Nobody else historically in this whole neighborhood is sold for $350, but mine's worth it. And so you, as a realtor, you don't want to lose the listing, but then you talk your customer down, and it's almost like you're buying the house, you're negotiating down to get them where it's going to appraise. And they say, because they're still thinking that sellers are on top, so they're like, well, I don't care. They can just bring the extra money. This is the price I want. So you list it, and then your colleagues are kind of like, are you crazy? Are you going to think you're going to get that? And then you, in hopes that your seller will reduce and become realistic when they see that it's not selling at the price that the seller has picked. Not you, the realtor, the professional who's done this for years and years, your actual seller. So when you have stuff like that, you'll see reductions. And so people are then like, oh my gosh, the market's falling. I see all these reductions. Well, a lot of the sellers thought it was still like 6 months ago, so they were still trying to get the max out of the house and even over the appraised values. And so when you see a reduction, it's not so much that it's the prices are falling, it's like that the dream prices are falling, you know what I mean? So don't get too alarmed. I know it sounds crazy, but the way I think of it is your whole neighborhood refinanced or purchased, right? So say you all bought, so Pasco, let's just say Trinity area, $200 a square foot, at least to 215 to 250, depending if you're in Champions Club or whatever. So say you're all at 200 a square foot. So you got all these neighbors, and you have Mr. and Mrs. Jones. These 10 people, they had equity in their house. They refinanced. So now their mortgage is $200 a square foot, or say $500,000. They only owed $200, but now they got $500. They only owed $300, but now they got $500. They only owned $100, now they got $500. Now they're all mortgaged out. Then you went and bought for $500, and your friend bought for $500, and your other friend bought for $515, and your other friend bought for $550, and then these people decided not to pay their mortgage payment. When the bank comes out, they have $500,000 in debt on that house. They're not going to put that house out at $300 and devalue the whole neighborhood, because you guys are all in debt at around the same price. $500, $5, $515, $530, $5. So when this house gets repoed, they pull the valuations of the neighborhood, and it's basically what you bought and what you sold for in the last 3 months. So this, even if it did foreclose, one, it takes like 2 years, depending on which banks. So 1 to 2 years, sometimes 3, 4 years. But so this one actually falls, but you guys have brought the prices up in your whole neighborhood. So you're not going to see this house being put out at like $350. The banks are not going to do that, because they know exactly what everybody's mortgage is in the area, what the stake that they have in that house. So you're not going to see a $100,000 house in a $500,000 neighborhood. So I mean, that's my take on it. But I mean, you might see they put it out lower because, it's trash. It needs a roof. It needs AC. It needs this. It needs that. So maybe it's $50,000 off. Maybe it's $450, but then you got to put $50,000 into it. So, I mean, I think we'll see stuff like that, but I don't think it's going to be this big, $300,000 in this $500,000 neighborhood. I think it's going to be, $450, basically what the house is worth, probably like maybe 10% off that, so it looks like a foreclosure, so it sells quickly, because they don't like to keep housing open for that long because of squatters and all sorts of different stuff. So you have homeowners right now who are basically feeling like they paid like $65,000 over. And then they also, they're feeling that the prices were elevated. And then the housing price drop could get worse, is what they're saying, because of the interest rates and stuff too. And then 275% mortgage holders could fall underwater if their homes lost 5%. So the statistically is what they're saying is if the prices go down, where I think Florida is just a unique area, because, you know, as much as some people are like, I need to get out of here, it's getting too busy, a lot of people want to get into Florida. So when you're looking at the world's economy and the United States economy, Florida is kind of a beat to its own drum, because you have people who always want to retire here. We have beaches, you know, anywhere you can go 2 hours. You can be in Orlando and pick a side. You can go to Daytona Beach, you can go to, you know, Clearwater Beach, you can go, you know, Marco Island, Sanibel Island. I mean, just the whole Key West. We have a lot of, you know, just being a vacation state. We have Disney World, we have Busch Gardens. We just have so much stuff here, and golf for days. So we have all the golfers that want to come here too. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about Florida turning into, you know, a bad purchasing state where you just can't get any value, you can't get any rent. You know, there's always going to be a call for people to come to Florida. So when the median is saying mortgage holders are going to be underwater, I don't know if the actual appraisers, I mean, they were conservative the whole time. So I don't think, maybe if you overpaid as far as that, you put extra cash on top of it. I think those prices, the overpay, maybe you know, those are obviously coming down. So they were saying like 10%, 5% is what they expected. And if you think about it, the Fed's controlling the interest rates. So the Fed's going up, and then our home values are going down. It doesn't make any sense, because your interest rates go up, and then your actual approvals and stuff that you actually got approved with the bank go down. So they're saying that as far as they're going to have to lower it so people can afford it at the same time. But like I said, I haven't really seen, I've seen reductions, but it's been for people that have overpriced the houses, or in that area, the people have overpriced and then sold under. So say they sold it for they put it for sale for $350, and it looks good. Someone else like, they're getting $350, it's under contract. Doesn't necessarily mean they're getting $350. So if they sell it for $330 or $320, you know, it brings the area down. So you have that going on too, because the news is telling everybody that the market's going to crash and that to get out quick. So I think with that becomes panic. And if you panic, then you just say, you know, just give them 20 grand, 30 grand off, and then so you can get out, get your money and stuff. So I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would suggest talking to your realtor and see, like, what's it going to appraise for? What do you see the market doing in that exact location? Because every location in Florida is a little different. You know, are you on the water? Because on the water, you're going to get more money. Waterfront property is always going to be sought after in the state of Florida. Maybe not so much the flood insurance on the waterfront property, but if you get a cash buyer who doesn't even care about flood insurance, that you're always going to sell waterfront property first. So you know, the old days they would say it's location, 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 or price, and that goes true. So if you have a great location, if you're on the water, if you're on Clearwater Beach, if you're in, you know, on a canal to the water, those houses are always going to sell unless we have some type of flooding or something like that. Those houses are always going to sell first, and then you're going to have your homeowners in neighborhoods like, you know, not to say cookie cutter, but sought after with good schools, stuff like that. Those houses are always going to sell too for your location. As far as now, when that says location, 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 they mean like your school district, your location of Marshalls to Home Goods to the Suncoast. You know, is it gated? Is it not gated? You know, the good HOA, stuff like that. That they're always going to be sought after too. So if you're watching the news and you're like, well, my neighborhood's still selling, this doesn't make any sense. It's just that you're living in a neighborhood where it's still, you know, it is sought after because of your school district. And of course, there's school choice if you're in different counties and stuff. Different counties have school choice where you can pick your schools, but that's totally off subject. But yeah, so location, 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 or price. So if you have a neighborhood, and this is another problem why people are reducing right now. So say I have the Beacon Woods house, and there's another house that is exactly the same because they are duplicate houses. So there'll be like one house, same, different, same, different. So when the sellers see the same exact house being sold for $350 and you have yours for sale for $360, then they go, oh, well, ours was $360, put it $350. So ours is better than them. So then they put it $350, and then your seller sees it and they go, theirs is $350. We better put ours at $349. And then, so it's like you're competing in your little small neighborhoods. Your sellers are doing selling comparisons, and they're reducing it on their own because the news is saying, oh, you got to reduce because of interest rates and stuff like that. So be careful that you don't get caught in that situation where you have all the new flooring, new kitchen, and you're comparing your house to a house that doesn't have any of that, and it being that you have none of those improvements, and then you're just reducing, comparing yourself to a house that has no improvements. So there's a fine line. That's why you need a real estate professional to go in there and tell you exactly what it's worth, and if the house prices in the area are falling, then to update you and say, hey, all your crazy sellers have reduced and they've sold for a lot less, so now your house is worth, unfortunately, less too. And like I said, it's being driven by the news sources, the panic. We had the panic with COVID, and we had the panic with purchasing, and now we're going to have a panic with selling. So I guess that's basically everybody how it's going to go, but we got to stay positive. So you guys stay tuned. We're going to go over one more thing. I just want to talk to you about the world selling market and how it reflects to Florida. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back. I'm Jessie Walters with Charles Rutenberg. I'm glad that you guys are joining me today. We're talking about what's going on with the housing market. I wish I had, like I always say, a crystal ball to tell you guys what exactly is going to happen. But what I can tell you is what I'm seeing right now. There's a lot of negative on the news because the interest rates are going up. I'm seeing like 5.2%, 5.5. Now remember, last year we were seeing 3s, and I was saying it's free money, get it quick. Pretty much we're still at the same boat. 5.5% seems like a lot, especially if you're new at the purchasing and selling. But in 2008, 9, 10, the interest rates were over 10%. So you're still having a good interest rate. It's just that it's not as good as it was. So last week I'd done the Nightberry Title app, and you can put in there what you're paying for rent and what you're going to pay for your mortgage, and you can kind of compare them on there. It's pretty cool. And also they has the e-buy, or where they have you compare it if you're going to sell to say one of those, we buy your house guaranteed, I don't know if I'm allowed to say their names, but anyway, if you put the amount you're going to sell to them for, basically it comes out like, without you doing the math on it, it comes out to like 40,000. You lose like 40,000 by selling directly to one of those places. But anyway, that app's pretty good. Like again, you can go, if you're still renting and you're like, interest rates are going up, I can't find anything, and you're hoping for a crash. So you got to remember that being a numbers person, the more the interest rates go up and the less you pay for the house might be exactly the same thing. So, put it in there in that calculator, and so you can see, because, your interest rate's going up and your home prices, say they go, they're going down, literally same exact payment, and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. But as more, as they go up to 6%, 7%, and your prices go down, you're going to be at the same exact payment. So it's like, do I pull the trigger on it now, or do I wait and see if the bottom falls out? If you have cash, you can wait. But if you're trying to do the interest rate and the mortgage, you might want to just go for it now, only because it's only going to go up. So we were talking about people are getting nervous. In the United States, they're getting nervous that they purchased the houses 65,000 average over price range. So in the world, the housing market, they're already having different influx. So I like to look at the world news, only because it seems like it happens to them first, like in England, United Kingdom, just different. Europe seems to have basically what's going to happen to us. So I try to watch them, So they're having the same exact thing, from Sydney, Australia to Stockholm. They're having the same influx of the interest rates are higher, and they feel like they're calling it, a reset as far as the purchasing and stuff like that. So they go into this huge thing. I like to look at all the different markets and stuff like that. The variable rate mortgages on new lanes, I guess the highest was Australia, which is, Australia took the most new loans. United States on the variable rate, not vulnerable rate, variable rate, meaning they're going up and down and stuff like that. I know United States, they just started, I've seen a lot of them, adjustable rate mortgages advertising now. So you can get your rate, and then it'll adjust, because people think maybe it'll go down. I don't know. I don't think it's going to go down. Again, I'm not a psychic, but so United States on that was one of the lowest, but the new loans, Australia, Spain, UK, they were the highest on those loans. So they have a example on here, and it's a female banker, and she purchased a home in New Zealand for $825,000, so like around $500,000 United States, and so her property had raced up to $1 million. And again, a lot of people were millionaires, not overnight, but they felt like, well, I have $1 million in real estate, and they felt really good and everything. Now, not everybody went out and remortgaged and took that $1 million out, but a lot of you guys did. Not everybody did, but whereas you felt like you were up like a millionaire overnight. So now we have the slap in the face that the real estate market's leveling out. And so your house, this lady in New Zealand's found that her house now is worth exactly what she paid the $504 for it, after going up and then going down. So people may be just, disappointed they didn't take their $1 million equity out, or they felt like they're a millionaire and now they're not, and they're depressed, or whatever the thing is. You paid $504 for a house, and your house is worth $504,000. Real estate, historically, in Florida is between 4 to 6% a year. We had at one point 165%, on some houses so it's just crazy. But the point is that it's going to go back to basically the old days, which wasn't that long ago, the old days 2 years ago, to where it's 4 to 6%. And we had the COVID, I have that thing up there with the COVID, it has the statistics on there. So this was 2021, 3.6, and then the growth of the houses increase in mid-year was 13.5, 10.5 post growth by the end of the year. That was COVID right during when COVID was happening. So we had the shortage, we had the price increases just starting, we had the analyzation of people that all they do is they get paid to tell you what the increase of your house is going to go up, and they said 4%, 4%, and then we had one that said 6%. Meanwhile, right there, just at the beginning of it, it was 10.5%. So, there was nothing else that you could put your money into. I mean, even the stock market was really, really good during those times, and but the return on your home investment was better because the actual influx of the increase, and if you were selling, is all tax free. Whereas in the stock market, you're going to pay whatever interest rate you're at. So if you're at 10%, 20%, when you actually pay your taxes every year, that's what you're going to have to pay on your actual dividend on the, on the stock market. So with that being said, the real estate was a great investment. But don't be sad if your house is worth exactly what you bought it for. Be happy that you got the house, and that if you still like it and stuff. If not, call me and I can sell it for you. But if you're happy that you got the house and everything, you like the location, you're just disappointed because you feel like you're not a millionaire anymore. Your house isn't worth $1 million. Think of it more like the 10-year plan. Historically, like I said, 4%. We hit 6%, just on the national average, and in Florida. And so with that being said, you can't lose with real estate, but if you took the max out of your house and now you're tight on it and your payments are tight, I want to say like 3 weeks ago, I had how to make extra money to make it through if there is a recession, how to make extra money out of your investment, which is your real estate investment, how to actually turn it around. And I kind of, that's not my expertise, but I actually do a pretty good job at helping people find that extra income in their house if they're having tight times. And of course, I always want to sell your house for you, but if I sold it to you and you're having tough times and you're trying to think of extra income in that house, you can watch that show or give me a call. I usually have pretty good suggestions. I drive my friends crazy and my customers crazy with the side gig. So that was about 3 or 4 shows ago, but with the side gigs to make extra money in your house. But right now, like I said, everything's still shooting along. People are still purchasing homes. We have that, I could throw it up, the luxury market is still really high up because the income, because there is a shortage still in the luxury market. So if you're looking over $1 million, there's still not a lot of homes out there at $1 million. They have, the lumber is still at the highest price that it's ever been, and that's when it started in COVID. They had, you can see a rise in lumber prices due to COVID-19, and so it went up 169%, and then that was just the lumber, per thousands board, per thousand, 2020. Yeah, so all that basically put on top of the new construction really just made the prices go through the roof. And we were talking about last week, the new construction now, if you guys need any new construction, or if you're interested in a new purchase, I have a lot of specials right now on the new construction purchases, depending on the locations you want. I have one right now in Parrish. It's $1,000 down or $1,000 deposit on the house. So I don't know if anybody wants to live in Parrish, but beautiful house, gorgeous, and literally, you can buy it for $1,000 down, hold that house, have it all, and it'll be ready. I think it was December. So you'll be in that house by the end of the year. I have another one, new construction. They're offering closing costs. So you're thinking to yourself, well, she just said it doesn't look like a crash. Why are they offering these specials? What happened was the buyers that they had and that they were building a lot of these homes for were approved at 3.5% for $500,000. And then the interest rates went up, and their house is being built. Then the interest rates went up to 4%, and they were still approved for 325, or $500, then it went to $450, and then it went to $425. So these buyers have to come up with more cash. So a lot of them just said, well, now I'm not approved for it. I'm just going to let the builder have it back. And so it's made an influx of homes that are actually not just for sale, but that are move-in ready. So if you're looking for a new construction home, depending on Pasco, Hillsborough, Hernando, Pinellas, can definitely help you with a lot of different specials right now too. They've started offering the closing costs and stuff like that back again with the new construction. So historically, again, the first thing to slow when an economy starts to slow is new construction. So when you see bonuses on and stuff like that, it does say to me, well, new construction is slowing, but then also the interest rates are rising. So a lot of customers are defaulting on these contractors, the actual real estate transactions with them. They're defaulting because their interest rates went up so much, and now they're not even approved. Their income can't cover the loan that they're purchasing the home for, and then their houses get thrown back in inventory. So for instance, they have a bunch of homes that you can move into even by the end of the year. So if you're looking for, depending on which areas and stuff, there's a lot of good specials and stuff like that. It makes me excited because I'm like, they're helping us again. There was a time last year where the new construction people were just like, get out of here, we don't need you guys. So we're back into, they're sending realtor specials, and we're not allowed to talk about payments, but they're actually paying us again, which is nice. And then, so we have all that, at the same time. So we've got the influx of homes coming out, we've got the specials, we've got the $1,000 down in parish, we've got, just depending on which type of home you're looking for, and which area and stuff. So like I was saying, historically, new construction slows, land will slow, condos will slow, and then single-family residences will slow. So with that being said, single-family residences are the last thing to say where people start. I don't know if you guys remember this, but in 2009, 2010, they would even, like with the crash, they would even put like cars in garages and say, you get this car with the house, so don't worry, we're not at that point where we need to freak out. It has slowed because of the influx of properties for sale. So we were working on supply and demand, supply meaning that we had none in COVID times, and now, and the demand was high, so it really pushed the prices up, the average, like they said, 65 grand over, whereas now we have an influx of houses for sale. A lot of people are just like, I need to get out of here before my house drops anymore. Remember, it's the house that you raised your kids in, or it's the house that you've grown in and you've fixed up, or it's a house that you love. Don't just sell it just because you're worried about it going under value. A home is different from a house. It's your home. Once you sell that house, you're going to have to try to find housing, and rentals are still up higher than the last 2 years. So if you think you're going to get out of your mortgage for $2,000 a month and go find a really nice rental that's going to be huge and so nice, you're going to be wrong on that one because the rentals are very expensive. And then another thing to do is, I have $100,000 equity. I think I'm going to go sell my house. I'm going to go rent a house for a couple years, and I'm going to buy. Well, the only thing is that most of the time people put $100,000 in the bank and they're paying between $2,000 and $3,000 a month. You're at like $36,000, $24,000 to $36,000 a year. So your 100 grand is going to go down pretty quickly. And it seems like it'd be a lot of money, but it's actually not really that much money to give up your homestead and then try to gamble with trying to find another house, which is most likely going to be the same exact the same exact price that you're in now. So try to be level-headed with what's going on right now. Don't make knee-jerk decisions. Don't sell to we buy here for cash just because you're worried because of the news and stuff. Try to be level-headed, make a decision, talk to a licensed professional, hopefully me, and then we'll go over what the best decision is for you. If you're trying to relocate and go to another state, totally different. Obviously, it's still a great time to sell. Everybody's still getting top money. The bottom has not fallen out. I don't care what the news says. We're all still selling. It's just taking more days on the market. So if you're a seller right now and you have a different realtor, I want you guys just to be patient, take a deep breath. You have one house, you only need one buyer. Before we had 30 buyers down the street trying to buy your house. But in reality, you only sold to one, and you only need one buyer. So with that being said, you list it, and if you have 3 people come in, again, you only need one. So if you list it and you have one person come in and one person buying it, you're still doing good. That's still exactly the same thing. We just don't have the multi-bidders where you're getting like 65,000 over. We just had to get that reality check of we're actually going to be selling for what your house is actually appraising at again, not the dream price of you overpricing it because you have 14-karat gold taps and your neighbor doesn't. So we have to just come back down to reality of what the houses are actually valued at, and sell what your house is valued at, not your dream price anymore. So I know a lot of people would say, well, it's only worth, I had one, it's only worth 1.2 million. I don't want to sell it then. And I don't want to sell it till it's worth 1.5 million. I'm like, with him, I'm like, well, if, you hate for them to miss it, but then you hate for them to miss it the other way too. So in other words, you want them to sell it for 1.2, but then if it goes to 1.5, you don't want them to miss, that's $300,000, So, it is a double-edged sword right now as far as trying to figure out what to do, but it still is a really good time to sell. And interest rates are only 5.5, and I know you guys are going to kill me for saying only, but it's still a very good interest rate, like I said, compared to 2006, 7, 8, 9, we had people paying 18% for investment properties. So for cash, for hard money lenders and stuff like that. So 5.5 is still very good, 5.2. You can also buy interest rates down. If you guys are looking for a mortgage broker, I have Delyn Gaston, the mortgage firm. She usually helps me out with, all the different mortgages and stuff. And I wanted to thank Nightberry Title real quick. I just ran out of time. And they're the greatest too. You guys have a blessed day, and we will talk next week.